Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This video is kind of made last minute. Usually I like to upload my videos on Fridays, but fortunately, as majority of you know, Spirit has gone down under. Spirit is no longer here with us, I guess you could say. Spirit is a spirit. So I guess in honor of Spirit, I wanted to fly one of my last flights that I had with them in real life, which was on an Airbus A320 Neo going from Chicago O'Hare down to Orlando. So we're here in the AnyBuilds A320 Neo registration for today's November 903, November Kilo, Airbus A320 Neo. And yeah, I mean, I've got this plane sort of set up. I'll go through the rest of the flows here in a second, but yeah, I mean, it breaks my heart for Spirit to be going away. So I just wanted to, I wanted to do a flight in honor of Spirit. So let's get right into it. Let's go back to our overhead panel, make sure everything here is all set up as I need it to be, which it is. So I think my sim brief decided it was going to go away. There we go. And looking at our payload, we still have about 5 minutes until everything is boarded. So let's look at the off time for today's flight, 1740 Zulu. We have about 10 minutes. We're gonna have to move pretty quickly for today's flight. So first thing we want to make sure is we have A320-200 LEAP engine, so it's an IE, and our database is until the 14th of May, and today is May 4th. Everything there is in order. Let's request our flight plan. So our flight is Spirit Wings Flight 2057. That matches with the flight plan that I have. We are going to be flying from O'Hare to Orlando, and Tampa is our alternate. IRS is all aligned there, so that's looking good. Cruise flight level is 390. In the flight plan we have that it's negative 63 degrees though. Minus 63, and our tropopause is level 387. Let's just request the winds real quick. I'm pretty sure everything is already in here. I'm just going to request it just in case. Looking at today's flight, we're going to be departing runway 22 left. I don't know how many times I've actually departed 22 left in real life with this aircraft. So instead what we'll be doing is we're going to switch it to 28 right. That's the runway I want to depart off of today. So let's go to the takeoff page. We'll go runway 28 right for today's departure. And I'll get all that information in here. Our weight. I actually have no idea what it is. Let's just wait for the plane to finish boarding and we'll get to that here in a second. Alright, so we're going to follow DIFRAP. So DIF, we have our flight plan. For our O'Hare departure, we're going to be going runway 2A right. We're going to be deviating from our flight plan. We're going to go 2A right. And then we should go direct dent after that. Yep, so we got dent, Darcy. Following Darcy, we got Dregs, Dumpkey, Scoto, Swap, Rescue. Yeah, so we have, then it's the Q87 Airway, so there we go, Swap, Rescue, Booty, Kale, Thrasher, CJs, and should have 2 more waypoints here. I'm pretty sure this should be for our arrival. So our arrival for, our star for today. I don't know why this popped up. I didn't get the tab key. So for our arrival, it's going to be Grinch 5 star, which I passed because I'm blind. Grinch 5. Transition to DJAX. And put that in. So let's just go back down here. Now we got Z-Jax, Z, Elite, Mayor, Coax, Britain. I don't even know how to pronounce some of these. Bugsy, Blake, and then we have a few more waypoints, which I'll add here that I have in my flight plan. So we have Blake, Oval, so we'll go Oval, Haram, Temper, Haram, Dory, then Dory, and Bryce. Goes there. So there we go, Dory and Bryce. And then the rest should just be for data. Right. So confirm the takeoff data. Everything here seems to be all good. I'm not seeing any problems here. Our clean will be 214. So going to our next page, we'll pre-select 214. And then at 4,000, we can return back. Everything else seems to be just fine here. And then we'll get our approach set up later. Going to our secondary flight plan, let's copy the active. Now let's do ORD 28 right. I wonder if I can put it in like this. But then, pretty sure it's heading distance, so 285, and then let's do 15. Can I put it in like that? I can. Nice. Okay, I just want to see if that was a possibility. That's not the actual runway heading. So we'll go KORD. 28 right, and then let me check what our heading would be here. 28 right, 273, so 274, and we'll head about 20 miles out. So we'll head out about 20 miles, and then we'll hold here. So do a right hand hold, and then we could select our new destination back as O'Hare. So we'll do a hold over there, and then we'll return to O'Hare. And in this case, we'll just do an ILS for runway 28 right. That should be just fine. So we'll hold, we'll come back to 28 right. Anyways, let's start our pushback with the invisible pushback button. So we'll go engine 1 for our start. Ignition switch is on, and let's go engine 1. Engine 1 is starting up. Get that. No way, we don't need that. And we're gonna wait for this box to disappear, meaning that the engine is ready. Let's get that set to run since we're out of the gate now. We were just a minute before time, if I'm not mistaken. We wanted to be out by, oh, never mind, we wanted to be out by 1740, so we're 9 minutes late. Not all too bad. As long as we get to the runway in 10 minutes, we should be just fine. Maybe we'll make up in the air. Engine 1 is now started, so let's go with engine 2. Let's get our checklist out as well. Alright, for our transponder, let's go to PA Auto. booster, that should be on. Everything there seems to be fine. So predictive wind shear, we'll turn it on. And we don't need you to be on currently. The weather is just fine. I don't think we'll hit anything on departure. Engine 2 has been started. So is engine 1. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Airbus wants engine 1 to be started now for safety reasons instead of engine 2 first. That's why I did engine 1 first. And now that engine 2 is started up, we can get you set back to normal. After engine start checklist, so engine first selector is at normal. If you believe, you can turn that off. Anti-ice required in this case, so it's off. You can get the master switch off. Ground spoiler, so let's get that armed. We'll go flaps 1 left F. For our takeoff trim, we want up 0.3. And let's test our flight controls. Full right, full left, up, down, full right, full left. Or we can disengage the nose wheel, engage nose wheel steering, and reset rudder trim. And everything here should be all set in that case. Let's go to our status page. All systems are normal there. Nose wheel steering is back on, and that's how it goes. After start checklist is after engine start checklist is complete, and everything there is all set. So we can start our taxi up. So let's get our brakes off in this case. Let's get our nose light to taxi. Got our runway turnoffs on, and let's just apply some throttle, and let's just go forward a bit. So in this case, we're going out of Terminal 3, Gate Golf 3. What we'll be doing here is we'll be making a left-handed turn, and then we'll be continuing straight out. Let's also get auto brakes to max. I don't know if that was in the checklist. That shouldn't be missed. We'll do takeoff config, and we'll ding the cabin when we get closer to the runway. But we'll give them the time to set everything up. So here we go. This is Yankee. So we'll be going on the runway over here. We'll just hold short for a second, and we'll depart here in a moment. So let's just stop right here, right before the bars. Runway straight to our right. Alright. So before takeoff checklist, flight controls have been checked, flight instruments have been checked, briefing has been completed. We'll continue out, if anything, and we'll make our way back. Left settings is 1 plus F. V1 150, VR it's 150, and V2 is 152. We'll get you set to TARA. Signs are on, spoilers are armed, flaps are set to takeoff, auto brakes is max, takeoff config has been normal. Before takeoff checklist is ready. So, let's get our landing lights on in this case. Get our wing light on, get our strobes on. In this case, we might as well get our logo light on since it's getting a little bit dark due to the weather. And actually, I will get the weather radar on, just because I am a little bit worried about the clouds we might have ahead. Alright, so let's look at this real quick. Left is clear, the right is clear. The fuel we want for today's takeoff, we need a minimum takeoff fuel of 14.8. We've got 14.9, and this is runway 28 right. So runway 28 right has been confirmed. And And in this case, let's just get going then. Manual flex, 58, SRS, runway, auto throttle, blue. Knots is checked. So here we go. We got V1, rotate. Slowly get off the ground. Got a bit of wind over here. Got a lot of wind over here. Positive rate, so let's get our gear up. Ooh, wait, a lot of wind. That'll be on heading select here. Crazy winds. At this point, Toga might have been our better bet. We got on autopilot 1. And since we passed our acceleration altitude and our speed is accelerating, let's set you to climb. Let's just make a left-hand turn out of here. Pretty sure that's what we need, right? Left-hand turn? Yeah, left-hand turn. Let's get a left-hand turn out of here, climbing up to 3,000. We should get there at our first point. And then since we've reached our clean speed, let's go flaps up. Our nose light can come off here. And we've reached 3,000. And now we'll go back to managed speed of 250. We can get our thermometer off. Got some beautiful visuals coming out of here. Behind the engines, it is really quiet. So here's 3,000. Let's start our climb to 4,000. Open climb. Actually, let's begin a bit of a right-hand turn a little bit. Since our waypoint is to the right of us. Let's actually just go direct to our next waypoint, which is Dent. And let's go heading managed. It should take us direct to Dent. Like that. And now we have heading managed. And then at this point, we're going to be at 4,000. Everything seems just fine there. And now let's just say we've been cleared up to 16,000 by ATC, which there is no ATC since we're not on Aviation. Until we cross that at 4,000. And then we can go managed up to 16,000. So watch out for all our restrictions, and yeah, we'll just climb out now. We got downtown Chicago over there, looking very beautiful. We got the airport right behind us as we continue our climb up. And as we pass 10,000 feet, let's get our landing lights off. Landing light can come off, and we'll sting the cabin. As we continue through these very dark clouds. By the looks of it, we do have some weather up ahead. Light rain, looks like it. And it looks like it'll be off to our left, so I'm not all too worried. Should be just fine. Let's start to climb up to 20,000. We'll say we got cleared. And I might as well start to climb up to our cruise altitude of 39,000 here in a bit. So yeah, at this moment in time, I'll start setting this to flight level 390. Set it to 390, push for managed. And we'll just keep climbing up to 390. And I'll get right back right once we get to our cruising altitude. So here we go. As we're leveling off at flight level 390, we can get the seatbelt signs off. Looks like we should have some smooth sailing. While we're in the air on our Spirit A320, might as well go over some quick history facts about the airline. The Spirit has actually been flying for about 34 years. They started flying in 1992, and they originally started as Charter One Airlines, and they were headquartered in Florida. So their fleet size is over 100 aircraft, and it is entirely Airbus A320 family jets. So they were flying the 319, 320, 321, and including the new 320, 321 Neo models. And their average fleet size was actually relatively small. It was about 8 years. So that's pretty young for a US airline. And they served a lot of destinations, and a lot of popular destinations like Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Las Vegas, Chicago here, which is where we took off from today. So one cool thing about Spirit is that it was an ultra low cost carrier. So you could get tickets for about $45 to $90. I remember I went on a flight all the way to Orlando, and I think it only cost me $180 for 2 tickets. So that was pretty nice. But the downside is you pay for what you bring. So every baggage, every check bag, everything you bring, you gotta pay for. You gotta pay for all your snacks, and it's pretty overpriced, but if you bring some snacks from home, it's very manageable. And that's something that I loved about Spirit. And one of the nice things is I was speaking with one of the captains on the Spirit flight, and we had such a good conversation. He actually gave me some free snacks. So that's not something you see on Spirit. But what's really cool about Spirit is they've had no fatal plane crashes in its entire history, which is pretty cool. Normally, when you hear of an ultra low-cost carrier that's trying to cut corners in every way possible, you probably don't think of the safest airlines. So the fact that Spirit was able to hold up such a reputable business was pretty cool. And I'm still surprised by the fact that they've had no crashes, no fatalities, which is pretty nice. So now that we're in cruise, I guess I'll just cut to some clips of the plane in cruise, and when we get closer to our descent, then I'll come back and I'll start briefing you guys on the arrival and our approach. So here we are back in the flight deck of our Spirit 320 Neo. When we look at our FMC, our top of descent is in about half an hour. So let's just start looking at our weather information and start getting this plugged in. So looking at it, we got weather, 4th day of the month, 1653 Zulu. I wonder if we can actually refresh this so it's newer. There we go, 1853 Zulu. Wind is 090 at 13, gust 22. Let's plug that in. 090-13. Temperature When we look at it, we have a temperature of 27, dew point of 14. And our altimeter settings are going to be 30.01. So we have that information all plugged in now. So taking a look, it looks like runways 17 and 18 are actually in use right now. Looks like it should stay that way. So if we were originally going to land on runway 35 right, next best bet would be 17 left in this case. So in that case, I guess we'll just go for the ILS 17 left then. And let's see how that looks. It'll be same arrival. So let's see what that looks like then. I'll take us straight in for 17 left. That should be just fine. So if anything, our top of descent might be closer than before, as we'll have to descend earlier. But we should be just fine. Now that we have our descent information in, I'm going to use SimBrief to calculate our landing distance. So because we're landing runway 17 left, we're going to have about 9,000 feet of available distance. We go to our fuel page. Our zero fuel weight is 127.9. So we're gonna add our estimated fuel at runway 17 left, so that's 4.9. So we should have a total weight of 132.8. We'll be going flaps full for today. We are gonna use reversers. And the wind for today's arrival, 090-13. Let's plug that in. Everything outside air temperature is 27, so everything's good. Altimeter 3001 is what we're gonna get. And let's calculate it. So looking at it, our actual landing distance should be about 6,434 feet. And our factory landing distance is about 8,000 feet, so that's about 900 feet to spare. That's on auto brakes low. So because auto brakes low gives us about 1,000 feet to spare, we'll go auto brakes medium, just so we have a little bit more space to work with. And because we kind of just want to get off early off the runway. So looking at it, we'll have airside, or terminal A, is for today, so airside 1. So actually, just to make it easier for us to get to our gate, let's actually switch this to 18 right. As 18 right will just get us closer to our gate. Now let's just check this. See how everything's looking. Everything looks normal. So yeah, we'll go 18 right for today's arrival. So let me get a chart set up for runway 18 right. And looking at it, our barrel rep for today's landing is going to be the 294. It should be 200 feet above the ground. And in the event of a missed approach, we'll climb up to 500 and climb right to 4,000. So everything's looking good over here. Everything should be configured for the arrival. Let me just check what the approach speed should be. I'm not sure. Okay, 135 is going to be our approach speed for today, so we'll get that in. And we are prepared for our arrival. So we're just going to wait till we get to our top of descent over here. We have about another 100... Let's see, about another 160, a little less, 160 nautical miles. So we should get to our top of descent in approximately, by the looks of it, 20 minutes. Alright, so we'll be beginning our descent here shortly. We got about 10 miles left. 10 miles until our descent. So let's get these seatbelt signs on. Let's come over here. We'll set this to 260. We have an altitude restriction for 240 here, above 240. We want to be below 260 over there. So, anything, it might be more ideal to start this up down to 17,000, just so we're in the right spot. We get over there. So what we're gonna do is we might as well start to do open descent, and then we can end up doing managed descent here in a second. So we should descend at about 1,000 feet per minute. Might as well go managed descent now. So that should go at about 1,000 feet per minute. There we go. As the green ball starts coming down, and then we'll continue our descent. So now that we're on the equalizer, we can go gear down, we can go flaps 3, and we can go flaps full. Now we'll just glide down to the runway. As we continue our descent, we're gonna arm the speed brakes. We'll get our go around altitude set for 4,000. And we have Cat 3 dual. So the gear is down, we can get the nose light on. Now let's get the runway turn offs on. Now let's just continue down for runway 18 right. The cabin for arrival. I bet that. Oh, okay, so the cabin is ready. There have been times when I get down to like 200 feet and then the cabin becomes ready. And I find that a bit annoying at times. So yeah, now that we're all set, I guess we could get our landing checklist. Lights are on, landing gears down, signs are on, cabin is ready, spoilers are on, flaps are full, all green, no blue, auto brakes are medium, go around altitude is 4,000. I don't think we have anything to go over. If we need to go for a missed approach, then we'll just go around and follow what the missed approach says on our chart. We have 1,000 feet. We are stabilized. Our missed approach altitude is set. deviating a little bit.
Minimum.
Fine. So we'll continue, land.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 10, 5.
And crab for the wind. And we're on the ground. Definitely a hard landing, but given the wind, I want to get down on the ground, so. Reversers are not coming out for some reason. Okay, that's odd. We'll go manual braking here. So here we are on the ground at Orlando. Definitely not the best landing I've had, but I think it was just fine. Here we go, we'll vacate left. See what taxiway we are on here. If anything, it looks like we might be on Yankee. Yep, we're on Yankee, so this is perfect. We'll just continue straight and we'll make a left and we'll be at airside 1. That's where Spirit operates. So let's get clear of this runway and let's start cleaning it up. Get our flaps up. Get you back retracted. And get our landing lights off. And get our taxi light on. Or just regular taxi light. Strobes can go to auto, wings can come off. And we're looking good. So let's get you set to TA. We can also start our APU since we're close to the gate. Okay, here's a 1-8 left. So we might actually just get our running lights on as we'll be crossing an active runway. I guess we could call it inactive since well, there's no other planes here, but left is clear, right is clear. We'll assume we were cleared to cross just because, well, we think there's no other airplanes here. Here we'll start making a left-handed turn. Let's get our landing lights off. We'll just continue straight once that's airside 1. And at airside 1, not sure what gate normally we would go. I think it's 1329. Don't remember what gate I was at when it came to real life, but we'll just go to gate 1329, any one of those gates. Go for this gate right here. Because why not? Alright, so let's get that off. Let's get our runway turn-offs off. Guess the click spot disappeared for a second. So here's 8. Might as well go into 8, no biggie. I'll go into the external view just so I can see where to stop. Let's just stop right here. I don't want to clip that jetway. As our APU started, so APU can come on. Engines 1 and 2 can come off. The beacon light can come off. And we can get this jetway to come over here. That jetway is very close by the looks of it. But hey, here we are. So, welcome to Orlando International. It's very sad to see Spirit go. There's a lot of these banana buses that are flying into Orlando, Tampa, Chicago. It's unfortunate to see these bright yellow planes go by, but fortunately this is just the case with some airlines. And unfortunately, airlines rise, airlines collapse. Yeah, I will definitely miss Spirit though, but hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully in the comments below you can talk about your Spirit experiences. And in our hearts, Spirit will always live on, and in the sim world, I'm sure we can always keep flying Spirit. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.